Hi, I'm Morgan Harmon, and this is my vlog 3 for my interaction number 2. So, I started out by defining what attribution is, which is kind of the reasons behind something, kind of like the cause of something. So, he was still a little confused about attribution, so I gave him an example of how sometimes I will be not doing so good in a class and I'll instead of going to maybe I'm not putting in as much effort into it, I'll blame it on the professor and that the professor is confusing. So one thing he told me is that in India they focused a lot on math and sciences, so he's really good at math, which that would be a person based attribution. He told me right now he is actually taking a writing class that he isn't doing so good in. He has never taken a writing class actually before, which I found very interesting. So, the way he explains the reasons why he's failing the class would be an ego protective bias because he is blaming it on the professor instead of and saying that she's sometimes her information can be confusing. And he didn't really mention the fact that maybe the reason why he's not doing so good in this class is maybe because he hasn't learned more and hasn't had a writing class before. He just told me a lot about the professor just being confusing and information just being confusing that she presents. So next, I asked him what was his experiences with mindset, and I first had to define fixed and growth mindsets to him. So I started with fixed mindset, and I explained it was more ability than effort for your intelligence. And he told me when he thinks of a fixed mindset he has on something, he says being a artist or writer, he doesn't think he'll ever be able to have that. Another interesting thing I thought is he feels like most stuff you do academically is more based on ability than how much effort you put into it. Another example of fixed mindset he gave me was that he wanted to be doing a CSE course, and a lot of his friends were very good at that, and he felt like he could never be on the level of understanding that they were on. Like he could try his hardest and put in a lot of effort, but he could never fully comprehend everything. So finally, I asked the last question what was his views on academic motivation? He personally thinks that he's not really academically motivated himself. The only reason why he's motivated to be here is because it's just what other people tell him to do. In India, there's a lot of pressure to go to college and continue education outside of high school. So I told him, like, I agreed that I am here to get a better education, but I also told him that personally, I don't know what I currently want to major in, but I told him that I know I want to find a career that I am helping some people. So the current majors I am looking in is obviously I'm looking into education, but I am also looking into the nursing field because I just believe those are two big careers that really help people. He told me at one point he had that goal is a similar goal as wanting to help people. He was looking into the biomedical field. Unfortunately, he began to learn more about the field and he actually became more uninterested. So, one of the last things he told me is that in India the mindset that they are in is that if you don't go to college, you won't get a job. Like they're like compared to here, you can go to college and you could start your own business and be super successful. In India, that doesn't happen as well. Usually, all the jobs, if you don't go to college, are very low pay jobs. Overall, I feel like we have a lot of similarities, but a lot of actually differences as well. And it was very fun to learn and explore our cultures and how they connected.